Hey everyone, today I'm talking about mental strength training tips for runners and how you can push past that pain barrier when the going gets tough. You're in the final few miles of your race, your brain's telling you, no, just stop, I've had enough. Here are 3 tips to tell your mind to back off and let me just get on with my run. My first tip is visualization. You always hear it all the time from sports psychologists saying how runners, athletes in general always visualize their race, visualize the outcome of the race. You're probably familiar with visualization in the terms of sitting down before a race, thinking about how the race is going to pan out, visualizing yourself crossing that finish line, PB on the time next to you. This is a different kind of visualization. This is the type that you're going to be thinking about whilst you're running. Whilst the going's getting tough, you're getting halfway through a race and your body's just like, nah, not today mate, come on. Your legs are hurting, your lungs are hurting, your heart's hurting. What is the actual point? Why are you doing this? So a little tip that I was taught by my therapist when I was going through a time of not being able to push to that next level. I was getting to about 3/4 of the way through a race and my body was just like, nah, come on, let's just chill out a little bit. And I gave in. What my therapist taught me is to imagine a temperature gauge in front of you. So it can either be the rectangular one where there's a long black and white gauge going to hot and to cold, or you can use the one that's round and it's in the middle and it's going down to blue where it's cold, going up to hot when you are feeling hot. Okay, so what I want you to do in your next race, get to about halfway point, your body's kind of telling you a little bit that it wants to stop, it wants to give up, it's had enough. Think of that temperature gauge in front of you as kind of flicking between pushing a little bit harder towards the end to get your PB, pushing towards a downward phase to kind of give up, your body's just had enough. What I want you to do is imagine that temperature gauge is raising up. You're turning up the heat. You hear that phrase all the time. You're turning up the heat, turning up the speed, thinking about your cadence, thinking about your knee drive, thinking about how you're running. Just be mindful of how you're running. That temperature gauge is going to make you realize that you can push harder, you can push that little extra 10%. Give it a go in your next race or in your session. Doesn't have to be a race, and let me know how you get on in the comments. The second point that I want to talk about is the power of visualization and the law of attraction. Now this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about before. So relating that to running, what I want you to do before your race is tell yourself that you've already got that PB. You may think it's crazy, but it works. It tells your mind, it's like your communication with your mind is like, mind, I'm gonna get my PB today. You've just got to do the job of making sure my legs work, making sure my arms work, making sure I'm just not getting too tired, making sure I'm pacing myself right, just rein me back if I'm like going out too hard. Mind replies back, yeah, okay mate, you got this, let's do this. Where visualization is concerned, you're manifesting the result of your race. You're thinking about what's already going to happen. So you're thinking about the PB at that finish line. If you're aiming for a PB, then that's great. If you're aiming for a training race, think about the outcome that you want to have out of the race, out of the session, out of the run that you're going through. There's no point lining up on the start line thinking, today's just not my day, haven't had good sleep, I was out on the piss last night, just not feeling it. 9 times out of 10, your body is feeling it. If you've put in the training, if you've executed your sessions correctly. The amount of times I've gone into a race thinking, oh man, I'm just not feeling it, I was out all night, a little bit hungover. 9 times out of 10, I've actually had a really good race. And once you get into that first mile, you're having the best day of your life. Don't go into a race thinking, not my day, it's just not good for your mind. Think about it as a conversation. Before the race, mind, kind of not feeling it today, mate. What do you think we should do? Mind says back to you, well, you've done the training. What's the point in thinking like that for? And then you just like, yeah, I guess. Third and final tip I want to talk about is breaking your session or your race into smaller chunks. So think about the marathon as 7 park runs. I always like to do that as I'm getting through the marathon. I'm getting halfway through. I've got 3.5 park runs to go. Kind of just takes the edge off a little bit. Instead of thinking about 10 miles to go, 5 miles to go, think about how many park runs, how easy it is to just rock up, do your park run and go home. You can also relate this to a 5K. If any of you are familiar with training on the track, 5K is split up into about 12 and a bit laps of the track. If you've got half a mile to go, you know there's only 2 laps of the track to go, so dig deep. Think about the points that I've said previously. and you will fly. So those are my top 3 tips for mental strength for runners. If you have any other tips that you'd like to share with everyone, please leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos in the next few weeks, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Hit the like button, helps with algorithm shizzle. All the videos that I'm going to be creating on this YouTube channel are going to be helping you run a little bit faster, a little bit more focused with your training, whether that's mental strength, whether that's what training sessions you should be doing. In relation to that, I've just created 100 ways to run faster free document for you to download today. I'll leave it in the description below. All you need to do is put your email address in a little box, watch the video. It covers things like technique, kit, what sessions you should be doing, mental strength, anything to help you become a little bit more of a focused and faster runner. And I appreciate any feedback you may have. So get in the description, download the 100 ways to run faster, let me know, join the Facebook group, and I'll see you soon. Bye.